What's going on YouTube? My name is FG3000. I'm back in the place to be and welcome to my top 10 list of games that I do not play. Now obviously I cover a lot of games on this channel, so there are plenty of games out there that I do not actively play. However, this list, ladies and gentlemen, is dedicated to the extremely popular, the well-loved. These are the games that tons, matter of fact, millions of people are playing all across the world, except for FG. So let's go ahead and get into the list. But before we get started, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe on this video because coming up very soon, I will be fulfilling a long requested video that people have been asking me to do for a very long time, and that is an all-time tier list. Yes, normally when I do tier lists, they are basically contained within a year. So I'll do a tier list for 2018, a tier list for 2019, but if the game came out in 2016, it ain't on my list. But that was then. This next video that I'm gonna do will be an all-time list containing all of the games that people are always asking about. Where's Epic 7 FG? Where's Summoners Wars? Where's Future Fight? Where's Fate Grand Order FG? Yes, finally an all-time tier list is coming very, very soon. But right now, let's focus on the current list at hand, top 10 games that I do not play. So let's start this list off at number 10, Summoners Wars. Now this is a really easy one to articulate on why I don't play it, mostly because I'm just extremely late to the party. This game originally came out way back in 2014, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2020. That's 6 years. Quick maths. So many gameplay modes, so much meta characters. There's just so many things that have gone into this game over the years that frankly, it's just too daunting to jump into. And of course, not to mention, and I am going to be very predictable with what I'm about to say next, FG don't chase meta, he chases waifus. So when I look at the waifus in a game like this, and I'm not, I know the game came out in 2014, but I gotta be real, I can't get excited for chasing waifus that look like this. I can't do it. So Summoners Wars, I know it's a great game, and I know it is the grandfather of a lot of my favorite hero collectors that I play today, but I just missed that boat. Apparently word on the street, there is gonna be like a spin-off or a sequel of Summoners Wars coming in the future. I will definitely jump on it then, but until then, ladies and gentlemen, Summoners Wars, not for me. Coming in at number 9 is Dragalia Lost, and I actually feel very comfortable putting this game on this list, even considering how good of a reputation that Cygames has over in the hero collecting market, mostly because I frequent the gacha gaming subreddit, so I know I'm not alone thinking this, alright? So I go through a cycle every couple of months with Dragalia Lost. I see like a big update, event, collaboration, I get super excited, I reinstall the game, I'm upgrading my gear, I'm doing the raids, and I'm like, this is the time that I stick with Dragalia Lost. And then like 3 days later, I'm already out. I'm done. For whatever reason, I just cannot stick with this game. I do continually try, and I probably will. The very next collaboration, guaranteed FG will be back doing the same exact cycle all over again, thinking it's gonna be different. It probably won't be. There's just something about the game that just doesn't grab me. I don't know if it's the repetitive nature of the events and the raids. I don't know, maybe if it's the pint-sized characters I can't get excited with, the control scheme. I don't know what it is, but whatever the combination of factors is, when it comes to Dragalia Lost, I'm usually in and out before the event is even complete. And even knowing that, I'm still gonna be there day one for the next collaboration. So Dragalia Lost is my number 9 on games that I just don't play. Next up on the list at number 8 is Fire Emblem Heroes, and kind of considering the most recent news coming out about this game with the whole Fade Pass fiasco that's going on, I'm actually okay that I'm not currently playing this game, but day one, ladies and gentlemen, when this game was first released, I was all about it. I was like, Nintendo? Fire Emblem Heroes, even though it's a franchise I never even played before, Fire Emblem Heroes, Nintendo, grid-based strategy RPG, I could not have been more excited. Now do keep in mind, and everybody that watches this channel knows that my favorite grid-based strategy RPG of all time is Disgaea. So when I played Fire Emblem Heroes, it was definitely a step down. It was definitely more simplistic compared to that game, but I still tried to give it a chance. I still played it throughout the global launch, even spent money in the game. But over time, the simplistic nature of the combat, the chibi graphics on the character models didn't help the fact that I didn't actually know anything about Fire Emblem Heroes. Also didn't help the fact that I eventually turned off all the animations in combat. So really, my gameplay experience was just a bunch of chibi graphic models of characters that I did not have any connection with, pelvic thrusting at the enemies. And so after about a few weeks of that, I just kind of got burned out. Not to mention at that time, the game was extremely stingy. It was very hard to play this game. You really didn't get a lot of gameplay out of your gameplay sessions back then. So that's the main reason why I don't play Fire Emblem Heroes. And I don't really think I'll be back, especially considering that there are more true grid-based strategy RPGs that are on the horizon with Final Fantasy War of Visions. I'm probably gonna steer more towards those games as opposed to Fire Emblem Heroes at number 8. Now coming in at number 7 is Asura Lane. Now I know you guys heard me say that I don't chase meta, I chase waifus, but this is an exception to the rule. Yes, Asura Lane is like the home of some of the most ultimate waifus on the mobile platform. I totally get it. I have tried to play this game multiple times, but it really comes down to the combat. Now, this combat system, and I know some Asura Lane vets are gonna come after me, but this is my experience. Based on when I played and at what level I was at, the combat was very hands-off. It was very automated. Now, I do not have a problem with auto combat or manual combat, but when I play an auto combat centric game, I have to have a little bit of visual splendor in my combat. If I'm not gonna actually be doing any of the inputs, I need to have amazing character designs. I need to have big weapons, ultimates, cool enemies, big bosses. I need to have some like screen filling ultimates. I need to have something like that to kind of make my eyes happy. And unfortunately, the combat in Asura Lane is just not, it's not visually appealing. It is just not visually appealing for me. Even though the waifus are, the combat is not. So over time, even though I really tried to connect with the waifus outside of combat in my base and in the dorm and doing other stuff like that, collecting skins, over time it's just like, I want to see these hot waifus in the 2D live art look exactly the same in 3D combat. But no, not like that, not like that. So stepping away from waifus for the rest of this list, believe it or not, is Marvel Strike Force. Now this is a game that I absolutely refuse to ever let myself play at any level whatsoever, even at a casual level. I might revisit it one day, but I will never ever play this game on a continuous basis, because back when I used to play it, I actually lost myself playing this game. Like, I actually was a totally different person when I used to play Marvel Strike Force. I was so dedicated and trying to be so hardcore with this game that I didn't like who I was as a person. Like, I'm being serious. This is like true story. I'm not trying to be like, I'm 14 and this is deep. This is true story here, right? So in Marvel Strike Force, they had a gameplay mode called Blitz. So every few hours, you'd have to log on to the game, fight a bunch of enemy encounters, get a bunch of points, log off, wait for it to cool down, wait for it to refresh, log back into the game another few hours later, do the same thing over and over and over again. And I was so tied to my phone into this game, I would literally have alarms set so that as soon as my cooldown on Blitz refreshed, I was there within a minute. Like, I was like always on trying to blitz, to the point where I was at work taking unnecessary lunch breaks. I would be at social functions trying to like sneak off and play the game. I remember distinctively during the Black Panther Blitz, I was at a party and I was like, hey, where's your bathroom? They were like, right over there. I was like, you got another bathroom that no one's like, you know, not using? My stomach hurts. It didn't hurt. I just wanted to go to another bathroom so I could play freaking Blitz for my Black Panther. It was crazy. So I will never, ever put myself in that position again, because I just, and you guys know, if you kind of hear my first impressions on a lot of games, if there is a game that has a certain gameplay mode that you have to play at a certain time of day, I'm not with it. I don't even play it. I will not even consider that to be a main game or a side game if it has content that requires me to be on at a certain time of day. That part of me is done with that. Not to mention, of course, the more obvious thing is that this game is an absolute money pit. Let me give you another little quick example. Back when I used to play this game, now keep in mind, this game has 7 stars in it. I remember there being like a $79 pack for a 2-star character back then. And I was like, are you serious? Are you serious? So temporarily taking over my life, having absolutely terrible monetization, is the main reasons why I will not be coming back to Marvel Strike Force anytime soon. So the 5th game on our list is Contest of Champions. What is it about Marvel games and FG that brings out the worst in them? I do not know. So For this one, let's talk about gamer anger issues, shall we? Let's talk about gamer rage. Now, I'm not a ragey type of gamer. I don't have a bunch of broken keyboard, mice, and headsets thrown around my room. I really don't get that ragey. However, there's an exception to every single rule, and there are two games on this planet that bring out the rage in FG. Number one is Smite. That's a MOBA. That kind of makes sense. MOBAs usually bring the worst out in people, you know, guilty as charged. And the second game is Contest of Champions. What a weird pairing of games. So let me take you on this journey, ladies and gentlemen. Years ago when I was playing Contest of Champions, I was in my apartment by myself playing video games in my underwear, as I do, and I don't know what I was doing. I was trying to complete an encounter. I was comboing, I was dodging, I was blocking, I was parrying. I was playing at the utmost tier of my gaming ability, all right? And I died. And this is the type of game where you have to use health potions to replenish your hero so you can go back into combat. I was out of health potions for whatever reason, so I decided, you know what, I really want to beat this stage. I'm gonna go ahead and top up, get some health potions, and then kill this boss with the quickness. For whatever reason, I don't know what it was. After I bought those health potions, I died faster and more terribly than I did before. I got destroyed. And in that moment, I don't know what came over me, but I gripped my phone as hard as I possibly could, and I chunked that sucker against the wall. Not once, ladies and gentlemen. I threw it against the wall, ran up to it, picked it up again, and threw it against the wall a second time. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If you are playing a video game that has you destroying your own property, all right, that's a game that you gotta cut, ladies and gentlemen. I literally just topped up in that video game to buy health potions, and then I broke my phone after that. That is a recipe for disaster. Contest of Champions, never again. So the next game on our list at number 4 needs no introduction, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Now, the popularity of this game to me is absolutely mind-blowing, especially as a YouTuber, right? I cover so many mobile games, first impressions, reviews, overviews, tier lists. I feel like I have an ability, a tiny one, maybe not that big, that's what she said, maybe not that big of an ability, but I feel like I have the ability to look at a game and know if my subscribers and viewers are gonna be into that game or if they're not gonna be into that game. And then that gets thrown completely out of the window, because when I look at Dokkan Battle, all I see is Bubble Popping Simulator 2020 with animated PNGs. Like, I have tried. I'm not even trying to be like crass to this game. I'm really not. I have tried to download this game multiple times to kind of see what people are into with this title, but I cannot remove my mindset and put it into the mindset of a person that loves this game. Almost any other game on the planet, I can look at it from their perspective and be like, I know why you like that game. I might not like it, but I know why you do. For Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, I can't understand why this game prints so much money while millions and millions of players play this game every single day for years. This game came out years and years and years ago, and it's still red hot. Bandai tried to bring out Dragon Ball Legends to maybe like make a successor or something like that, but people were like, no, we like Dokkan Battle. I do not understand it, and for the life of me, I guess I never will. So Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle at number 4. So the next game on the list at number 3 is a land grabber. Now, little known fact about FG, even though my channel is primarily dominated typically by JRPG turn-based style hero collectors, my first and primary love will always be grid-based strategy RPGs. I grew up as a little kid playing games like Shining Force and Final Fantasy Tactics and Disgaea, so when I started making my transition to kind of covering, you know, RPG and hero collectors, I thought for sure that one day my channel would have a dominant grid-based strategy RPG on the channel that I would basically cover as a main game. Like, I thought that was a sure thing when it came to mobile. FG predictions are not very good. So even though games like Fire Emblem Heroes came out, and that's not a bad game, but it wasn't really for me, and Alchemist Code, which had a host of issues, Landgrabber came out, and I was like, this is the game. All right, I played the game in beta. I was absolutely blown away. Look at my beta coverage of Landgrabber. I thought that this game was going to be the absolute truth. I was blown away by the fact that the game had full voice acting, cool characters that I wanted to collect, collaborations on the way, really robust and deep systems, tons and tons of content. I was like, this is it. This is going to be my grid-based strategy RPG that takes my channel to the stratosphere, ladies and gentlemen. However, even as a full-time YouTuber, right? Because I started playing this game when I was still employed, and even as a full-time YouTuber, I could not keep up with the time requirement of this game at all. And yes, it's gotten better over the years, but it's still a game that absolutely commands your time. And now I'm way more happier playing multiple games than I am just playing one primary game. So even though Landgrisser has gotten a little bit better, and even though I really want to play a grid-based strategy RPG on this channel as kind of like a main game that I cover, you know, continuously, I just don't think it's going to be Landgrisser. I think it's just way too much of a time commitment, and especially as my channel is now, which is more of a first impressions channel, I really can't dedicate the time to it, which is a little unfortunate. I don't really know if Final Fantasy War Visions is going to change that, maybe, but that's really about it. Grid-based strategy RPGs are not really the hotness that I thought they might be. Number 3, Landgrisser. So coming in at number 2 is Epic 7. So for all intents and purposes, this game belonged on this list for years and years and years. Then finally, just a couple of days ago, they finally add a true auto repeat to the game, which finally removes my last grievance against Epic 7. So now this game does not belong on this list, but however, like I said, this game definitely belonged on this list basically since the game launched. Ever since like 2018, 2019, I've kind of gone on this little mini crusade against games that have content that require you to farm the same stage hundreds and hundreds of times without giving the player any type of quality of life, any auto repeat, any sweep tickets, no types of tools to mitigate the grind that they coded in the game in the first place. Like, I am like done with those games. In 2020, I definitely want to see game developers look at this from like a consumer point of view. And I always say this, and I can tell it from a mile away. I can tell when a game developer does not actively play their game. I can tell, because there's just no way that I feel like these types of things should make it to the player base. Like, there should not be a case where you make a player grind the same stage hundreds of times, where they're just sitting at their computer, sitting at their phone going next battle, next battle, next battle. Like, no. We should be pushing for high quality screen time, right? When you open up your phone or you open up your emulator and you're playing a game, your screen time while you're looking at that game should be high quality. It shouldn't be just you sitting there like a drone pressing the same button over and over again. Now, Epic 7 has not completely gotten rid of that. Now it's like next battle, 20 battles, next battle, 20 battles, which is a step in the right direction, all right? It's definitely a step in the right direction. However, I still think that we can do better. 2020, vote for me. And now the number 1 game on this list of top games that FG don't play happens to be one of the biggest games on the planet, ladies and gentlemen. Not to mention, it also happens to be the number 1 game that FG has spent the most money on. So why don't I play one of the biggest games on the planet? Why don't I play a game that I've invested the most money in, ladies and gentlemen? Well, let me tell you a pretty sad story. I didn't lose. Let me take that back. I did not lose my user ID and password, all right? But for whatever reason, the customer care center over at Fate Grand Order says I don't have the right information. So guess what? My account is gone and lost forever. I have sent them so many emails. I've given them so many pieces of identifying information. I feel like my account got hacked at some point. I have no idea, but I cannot get my account back. I would love to play Fate Grand Order again. I really, really would. But there is just no way I'm gonna start over. I had so much progress in this game. Like I said, I spent so much money on it. There's just no way I'm gonna start over from scratch. So the number 1 game on this list is a game that I actually do really, really want to play, but there's just no way I'm gonna start over at this point. So Fate Grand Order, it was nice when I knew ya. My name is FG3000. This has been Top 10 Games FG Don't Play, and I will see you guys in the next top list. I'm out.